So this is chapter 4J, and we're covering linear modeling. It's basically just you given worded problems, and you need to be able to draw graphs and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we'll see how far we get done, and then I might just do some examples, and you guys can do the rest. Okay, so worded problems. You need to find a rule that links to two variables. You'll be asked to sketch a graph, and you might need to use the graph or the rule to predict or estimate the value. And then you might need to be asked what the rate of change is, which is just a gradient, okay? And like I mentioned, so like previously, you've been told about x and y axis, yeah? So you have to understand the relationship between the x and the y axis. So if you just remember, you might have something that looks like that. You might have something that's going downwards, stuff like that. Um, but instead of using x and y, you use like different variables, okay? So for the variables change. So you might get asked to find something like distance versus time, or you could do like cost versus times kind of stuff, okay? So you don't need to write this, you just need to read it and then just answer the question. So a person gets paid $50 plus $20 per hour. Decide which rule describes the relationship between the pay, P, and the number of hours worked. Okay, so he gets paid $50 plus $20 per hour. Okay, so the word plus here, meaning adding. So it's gonna be like 50 plus something. Okay. If you look at these options here at A, 50 plus N, and we stated that pay P dollars and number of hours worked is N. So A is not it. This looks good. C part C should be P equals 50 N plus 20. So that's a no because we're not getting paid $50 per hour. So that doesn't make any sense. And part D doesn't make sense at all. So the answer is just B, okay? Let's see. You have an example like this. Now, I know I've written don't write, but you can write it down if you want. I don't really care. Just do what you do. Just do whatever you want, okay? As long as it helps you, okay? That's all I care about. So the amount of money in the bank account is $1,000 and is increasing by $100 per month. So find the amount of money in the account after 2 months. So after 2 months, the amount of money this person would have is $1,200. And then after five, it'll be 1,500. And obviously after 12 months, it would be $2,200. Okay. Now, state a rule for the amount of money, A dollars after N months. So A equals to 1,000. So 1,000 being the initial amount plus, let's see, it's increasing by $100 per month. So $100. And then we're using the variables N for months. So N, just like that. So yeah, that's how you would go about it. So yeah, it's not always X and Y, okay? You need to learn how to draw graphs and like write equations, answer questions based on different variables as well. But then again, you will get used to this. It just takes time and experience, okay? Something that I do want you to write down is this example right here for sure. This is pretty much like a copy as to what you may or may not see, okay? So, so deal offered by Bikeshare, a bicycle rental company, is a fixed charge of $20 plus $5 per hour of use. Okay. Write a rule for the total cost C dollars of renting a bike for T hours. So we have C is the subject and we need to find the equation. So T hours. So it says here we've been charged a fixed charge of 20. So we know it's going to be plus 20. So it's just 20 plus whatever. And it says here $5 per hour. So 5 times T being 5T. And that's it. Okay. Or you could use C equals 5T plus 20. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care. Then part B says, what is the total cost when the bike is rented for 4 hours? So that means T equals to 4. So you're going to substitute T equals 4 into the formula. This will make it 20 plus 5 bracket 4. Now just remember when we write this, this means 5 times 4 here. So and 5 times 4 is 20. And that equals to $40. So oh, now part C, it says sketch the graph. Now I've already done that for you, but the best way to do this is substitute T equals 0 and T equals 10. Find C respectively. Now, this is something that not a lot of people have experience with. This just means T is between 0 and 10, and they're both included. Okay, that's all it means. So the time that it took to rent from 0 hours all the way to 10 hours. Okay, so 0 hours to 10 hours. Now, when you do that, I find C. So C equals to 20, and then C equals to $70. So that's why I've scaled my graph weirdly like this. So this is 80, 60, 40, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And just make sure you label your axis as well, just like that. And as you can see, I know that when t equals 0, um, c equals 20, so I can just mark that as 1 point. And then when I substitute t equals 10, I end up with c equals to 70. So this is 1070 right now, and this is 020, okay? So once I mark those 2 points, I can just connect it together with a line. And that's how it typically works. Now, part D says if the total cost was $50, how many hours was the bike rented? So just write out the equation, okay? Make your life easy. 20 plus 5t. Now we know the total cost is $50, so I'm just going to substitute $50 in where C is. And now you're just going to solve for t. So let's just start doing that. So 50 equals 20 plus 5t. And then we're going to subtract 20 because if you have a look here, there's no sign in front of 20. So imaginary plus sign. Okay, so since that's a plus sign right there, and we're applying inverse operations, that's why we're subtracting 20 to both sides. So this will make it 30 equals to 5t, and then you finally divide both sides by 5. You end up with 6 equals t, or like another way of writing that is t equals 6 hours. That means the bike was rented for 6 hours. Or you could use your graph. Use your graph to see. So let's just have a look at our graph here. Where's 50? So 50 is around here. So that's 50. So if we just go across this 50 line, we'll sort of see that it intersects with the line that we've drawn at around 6 hours. So that's why you could just say 6 hours there as well. Okay. So there's many ways to answer these kinds of questions. Okay. Please answer the questions here. Get it done. Okay. Um, but yeah, like you should be perfectly fine. If you're a bit stuck, please just like highlight it so when I come back, you can ask me. Okay. Take care.